Welcome back, guys. For today I have a really valuable video for you. I've been getting a lot of requests to make this, so today I'm going to give you guys a full tutorial on how to use TradingView from start to finish and from top to bottom. This is going to be aimed towards complete beginners, and it will literally show you how to do everything. This will answer a lot of the questions you might have, and I know this would have been helpful when I was personally first starting out, because I had to learn all this on my own and just learn by doing it and playing around with the platform. But for today, we're going to set up your account, customize and clean up your charts, add the tools you'll actually need, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to place, practice trades, and even replay the market as if it was happening live. Basically, everything you would need to know to start using TradingView today. First things first, let's get you guys an account. You can head right over to tradingview.com and you'll hit Get Started for free. You can use your email or just log in with Google. Super easy. For now, you'll be fine with the free account, but in order to get real-time data with futures charts and access to the replay trading feature, also known as backtesting, you will need a paid account, which isn't anything crazy. I think it's like $15 or $20 a month. So, that's where you'll see the candles, where you'll add your indicators, where you'll execute trades, and more. They also have screeners to compare stocks, indices, currencies, cryptos, whatever you want. There's a calendar to see financial and economic news that could impact the market, and a bunch of other things that no one really uses, to be honest. I won't even be going over these today because you'll probably never end up using them. But let's download the app. Let's head over to More, and on this submenu, we'll click on Downloads and Desktop App. I'm on my Mac, so I click Download for Mac OS, but based on whatever operating system you're on, you can just select the different platform downloads. Now, once you get it downloaded and you sign in, your app is going to look something like this. It's probably going to be default colors though, and you'll also probably be in the wrong time zone. So let's fix all of those right now. First, let's start with changing the chart colors if you want. Let's hover over the canvas, which is the background for our chart, and we'll right click. This will bring up a list of options, and we can click on settings at the bottom. Real quick though, before we do that, you'll notice a few things here on this options tab. Reset chart view will snap you back to current price action. Copy and paste can be used to copy and paste drawings across charts. You can add alerts for price, place limit and stop orders, and you can choose between different templates for your charts. But for now, like I said, let's click on settings. On the symbol settings, we can change the colors for our bullish and bearish candles. So basically the up and down candles. My up close candles are white, and my down close candles are purple. I have black borders and wicks on all of these, so it makes it really easy to see in contrast to my white canvas. Down here under time zone, you want to make sure you put it on UTC -4 for New York. That is the Eastern Standard Time Zone. This will let you have your charts and your times aligned with the New York session, which is the session that most people trade. You can also change your time zone down here on the bottom right by clicking on this and selecting it over here. Now on the status line, these are the settings for this area right over here. I turn everything off except for title, because all I really need to see is the name of the symbol that I'm trading, and the interval, as well as the broker. I'm going to skip over to canvas now, where we'll change the color for our chart background. Mine is white, and I have a black crosshair, once again for contrast. I hid the watermark because if not, there would be a huge transparent logo in the background, which just messes up your overall visibility, and it's pretty unnecessary. For buttons, I have these as visible on mouse over, and these are the settings for my margins. Now in the trading tab, these are my settings. On appearance, you can change what your chart shows when you're in a trade. Right now mine is set to money, but if I wanted to, I could show it in ticks or percentage as well. My profit and loss is in money, and I actually have my executions off, but these can always be turned on right here. They just show exactly where you enter and close out of your positions on the charts. I'm going to skip over alerts and events and scales and lines because I don't even think I've changed anything, and I honestly never do. Now that I've changed these settings, I can create a layout for this chart. So whenever I open TradingView, it will remember these settings and I'll be able to have these configurations on whatever device I use. I can do that by going up here, clicking Manage Layouts, and saving this layout. I can rename it, make copies of the layouts, and switch between different layouts that I have. but this is my main one. Now let's move on to the toolbars. On this top one, we have our status line, our time frames, indicators, alerts, replay trading, and more. Let's go from left to right. Over here in the top left, we can search for different symbols. I trade futures, so I would search NQ or MNQ here to pull up my chart. When you click on this, it brings up the search function where I can filter between stocks, funds, futures, forex pairs, cryptocurrencies, and more. I'm going to make sure futures is selected and I can type Nasdaq. I'll make sure to select the E-mini Nasdaq futures with the CME. The CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They regulate and manage pretty much everything to do with futures. This is their official chart, and this is the most accurate price for every second of the trading day. I'm going to click on MNQ because I trade the micro futures. Now that we've selected what we want to trade, we can look at different time frames over here. I can click on this drop down and select whatever time frame I would like, and even save some as my favorites, so they stay pinned on my toolbar up here. I have these ones selected for my favorites. Additionally, I can also switch time frames by simply typing the number of the time frame I want to switch to and hitting enter. So let's go to the 15-minute time frame. 15, enter. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. 5, enter. Just make sure you put an M for minutes and an H for hours if you need to differentiate. Like for example, the 4H is the 4 hour. Now over here, we can select how we want our price action to appear. I use candles, and so do most people, but I could select maybe a line chart if I wanted, volume footprints, columns, and more. Like I said though, for now, just stick to candles. They're way more important. From here, I can select and add indicators to my chart. Indicators are basically visual guides that you can use to help make more informed decisions with your trading. I personally don't use many indicators, but I can see price averages, volume indicators, standard deviation ranges, and more. You can also see indicators that other people have created and uploaded to the community. I can search for community indicators by the creator's name or the name of the indicator. I actually use a few of these. Let me show you. Let's switch down to the 15-minute time frame. And this is an example of one indicator. This one shows me the different sessions throughout the day, like New York AM, New York PM, Asia session, London session, so on and so forth. It shows me the high points of each of these sessions, the daily open, the 8:30 price, the previous day high, the midnight open. Right now it probably looks like a bunch of gibberish and a bunch of lines, but I promise it makes sense. I also have other ones that I have favorited, like for S&T divergences, order blocks, high time frame candles, but for the most part I trade without indicators and I just use real-time price analysis. Next, I can create alerts from here and insert replay trading mode, but I'll get into those later. This is my floating toolbar for the drawing tools. I just keep it up here so it's out of the way, but these are how I annotate my chart, and you can find these tools right over here on the drawing toolbar. Once again, you can favorite certain ones, but for the most part, these that I have favorited up here are the most important ones, and I'll go over some of them right now. Trend lines allow you to draw lines from one point to another. We also have horizontal rays, horizontal lines, vertical lines, cross lines, channels, and pitchforks. Once you draw something though, the settings bar will appear somewhere on your screen. From here I can change the color of the line. I can change and add the text if I want to, and I can customize specific settings with this settings button. For example, let's say I wanted to make a blue line, which I did, that said key level. Let's add some text, key level. Let's say I want it on the bottom of this line, and I want it on the right. I can change that here. Now I can save it as a template by clicking templates and save as, and I can name it key level. The ability to save and switch between templates is extremely efficient, and it saves you a ton of time because I have a lot of templates for all the different things that I have to annotate on the chart and all the different things that I can see. So for example, if I wanted to change this line to a template, I could change it to an SMT line, or a market structure shift line, or a buy side liquidity line, maybe even a liquidity line, whatever it is. This helps me save a ton of time on the charts because I don't have to edit things, type things, and draw things. From here, we can get Fibonacci retracements, where you can customize your settings to show standard deviation levels. I personally love to use these, so I have it favorited. Here's how it works. You can draw this on a range, and I generally choose to draw it on pre-market manipulation swings, and it will show you the key levels where price is likely to go based on the price movement. I'll show you guys exactly how to use this later when we go over paper trading. For now, I'm going to skip over patterns because I personally don't use these. On projections, I have long and short position favorited, as well as the anchored volume profile tool. With the long and short, that's the cliche execution drawing that you always see with your profit and loss. I'll place one down right here. Say at this moment I thought price was going to hit one of my key levels, I could put a projection for my execution and drag and drop my take profit and stop loss to wherever I want. Stop loss and take profit are areas where you automatically get closed out of your trade if price reaches it. So if your trade goes in the opposite direction and you're losing money, it would automatically close you out once price reaches your stop loss, so you can limit the amount of money that you lose. Inversely, if your trade is going well, it would close you out of your position automatically once price reaches your profit level. These position tools show your stop loss and profit level, and they show you some stats as well. They show you your risk to reward ratio, which is extremely good to know, how many points your take profit and stop loss levels would be. So for example, my take profit would be 93.5 points if I was to use this, and my stop loss would be 28.25 points. They also show a couple of more things, but I generally only look at the RR ratio and how many points. Once again, we can change and customize these from the settings tab. By default, yours might be green and red, but mine are blue and gray, which you can change right up here. We can also click on settings, style, and do that from here. I personally keep mine on compact stats mode though, so that way it doesn't have too much in the way. Now let's delete all of these. On the brushes tab, I have these favorited, and they're pretty useful. The brush to draw things, the rectangle, the path, and the circle. It's the same idea for drawing all of these. I can click on something, draw it out, and I can customize it from here where the settings bar pops up. Pretty cool. I can change colors, add text, and again, even use templates. I personally use the rectangle a lot, so I have a few of these, like for fair value gaps, for distribution, for order blocks, for new day opening gaps, and they're all different, but they all help me immensely. Now for the text, I have the table and the callout favorited. These let me write on my chart. It's super simple. Callouts look like comments, where I can literally write anything on my trades and on my chart and document them. This is the magnet. It lets you snap to price points like wicks and candles to draw things easier. Sometimes it's good to have it enabled, but if I'm drawing straight lines, I like to turn it off because it would make it really hard to do so. This lets me lock all of my drawings so none of them move when I'm dragging around the chart. And this lets me hide drawings so I don't see any of them. This globe lets you sync your drawings, and the trash lets you delete all of them at once. I can also delete all drawings. If I have some up and I right click on the canvas, I can just click remove drawing from here. Okay, now on the right side, we have some really cool features that I honestly don't even use. Up top, we have a watch list where you can favorite certain stocks, indices, currencies, and see their price. From the alerts tab, which is right under it, I can create alerts and view them. Basically, alerts set up notifications if price reaches a certain point. I like to show you guys by example, so let's do one now. Remember that key levels template that we made for the drawing? Well, let's draw one. We can also create an alert for it from the drawing settings bar. I can set conditions, triggers, and an expiration date for my alert. I can also create a custom message and change my notification settings. I don't set alerts often, but if I wanted to, I could customize it here. Let's create this one. And now that I have my alert, I can see it on the Alerts tab. I can also create alerts by clicking on this plus sign, and it would be the exact same process. Let's delete this for now though. I'm going to skip over the object tree and the comments because I don't really use them. In terms of the physical functions of TradingView though, that's pretty much it. So now let's get into the fun stuff. Paper trading is the name for demo trading, which is risk-free practice on TradingView. Down here we have our bottom panel, and we can select the trading panel. On the trading panel, which I'm going to expand, I can sign in with my broker if I have a live or funded account that is compatible with TradingView. Paper trading is the demo broker for TradingView. Let's click on this and click connect. Once we do, it'll give us an account. By default, yours will have $100,000, and it will show you right over here on your account balance. Over the last month and a half, I've been demo trading a lot to test out strategies and forward test the markets. So I've run up $23,000 of profit on my demo account. That obviously doesn't mean anything because it's just practice, but it helps you get used to executing, holding positions, and scaling up with your trading. Let's minimize this though. If I wanted to place an execution, I could click on the trade button and this side panel will pop up. Now let's zoom in. From here, I can buy or sell contracts, and I can set different types of orders. Market orders will buy or sell your contracts at the current price. With limit and stop orders, I can place orders for where I think price is expected to go. Let me show you an example. I won't be able to set a market order because it's the weekend and the market is closed, but we can place limit and stop orders. I can do this over the weekend because again, I'm placing an order where price is expected to go. So let's tie everything together. Remember the drawings that we used earlier? Let's head to market open, which is right around 9:30. Let's use the Fibonacci tool and draw it at this manipulation leg right before market opened. I'm going to draw it from the top to the bottom. Now let's draw a key level line at this -4 range. We'll grab our trend line and I'll draw it exactly at this -4 range. I'll click on the templates and I'll click key level. And you can see that the key level template that we drew earlier just popped up right at this -4 range that I want it to be at. If I wanted to maybe buy contracts when price hits this area, because I think it's going to reverse and go up, I can use my projection tool to calculate my stop loss and take profit. Let's draw one right there. For example, let's do a 20-point stop loss. So I'll drag this up to 20 points and I'll target 60 points for a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. With that being said, let's place a limit order at this key level by dragging it down. I'll place a buy limit so when price hits this limit, it enters me into a buy contract where I can drag my stop loss down to my area and my take profit up to this area. This will show me how much money I would make. And again, this is price action from yesterday, Friday, August the 15th. This is literally a valid trade that someone could take. As you can see, they would get tagged into the position right over here when it crosses this line at 11:44, and they would hit take profit at 11:53. You can literally make $1,000 a day in 10 minutes if you trade properly. I can drag and drop my stop loss and take profit, and I can exit out of my position by clicking on this X. Now, last but not least, replay trading or backtesting. This is an awesome feature on TradingView where you can literally replay price action. I can click on replay trading at the bottom down here, or replay up at the top. This will open up the replay trading tab where I can select a bar to time travel to, or I can select a date. Let's go back to yesterday morning at maybe 9:30 by using select bar. I'll drag this all the way back to 9:30. And as you can see, I can't see anything from past 9:29 a.m. on Friday, August 15th of 2025. I can hit play and I can change the speed of my candles from here. Let's put it on 1 time speed so it plays 1 candle per second and hit play. Actually, let's speed it up maybe. Let's do 3 times speed so it's 3 candles per second and hit play. You can also sell or buy from replay trading, which is awesome because it helps you practice risk-free with recent price action, which is always helpful. Let's buy right here. I can drag my stop loss and my take profit once again, and I can also draw on this chart. So let's place a long position right here with my stop loss at my low, and we'll just drag this up. This is just a random trade. I don't know what's gonna happen. And let's just play out price action. Let's see. Oh, I got stopped out. Again, that was very random, but this is to show you how useful it can be. So you can practice with current price action, learn and understand the markets, and also get used to executing. Let's exit out of here though. So, now you know how to set up TradingView from scratch, add indicators, paper trade, and even replay the market. If you want to see examples of my trades, executions, and analysis, check out my Recaps and Yaps playlist where I show you my exact trades every single week. And if you're serious about learning, this is just one piece of my Trader University series. We're going to cover strategy, risk management, and how to use these tools to make smarter trades. If you found this video useful, make sure to hit the like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more, because I'm going to be making a lot of videos for beginner traders to help you out, and also to answer questions that I personally had when I was just starting out. If you have any questions though, drop them in the comment section and I'll make sure to get back to you with an answer. For now though, have a good one and stay on the lookout for my next video.